Brand new scenario, what if Vegeta was like Broly? Let's begin. Vegeta the 4th is born and is exceptionally strong. King Vegeta expected this, I mean, he is the prince after all. But as a baby, they notice his power fluctuates a lot. It seems almost abnormal, which is kind of saying a lot. They already knew he was going to be strong to begin with, but this is a little different. It is a little bit concerning, but still, seems like it could be pretty great. King Vegeta is pleased. Around the same time, another Saiyan is born with pretty much the same issues, though Vegeta being royalty has much more noticeable fluctuations because his standard power as is really high. Though King Vegeta thinks the other baby might be a problem. This one's named Broly, and he's still sent away to Vampa. It could just be a coincidence, or maybe they're reading the powers wrong because he's right next to Vegeta. Or maybe something about being near Vegeta makes him this strong. They don't know for sure. All they really know is that Vegeta seems a lot stronger than he should be. Vegeta develops a little more, and eventually goes into combat. Even as a kid, he's exceptionally strong. Frieza doesn't immediately take notice. Since he is an elite Saiyan after all, he's supposed to be strong. It doesn't raise any eyebrows. But King Vegeta does teach Vegeta an important lesson, one of the few things he ever will be able to tell his son. Never show his full power. At least, not until he's sure he could beat Frieza or someone like that. Of course, Vegeta doesn't like hearing this. He wants to use his full strength. But King Vegeta tells him that it may concern Frieza if he does show that full strength. Who knows what the consequences of that could be. And really, King Vegeta is kind of speaking from experience. Look what happened to Broly. This does annoy Vegeta a bit, but it makes sense, so he keeps it in mind. It's not like he could properly suppress his ki, but he holds back just enough to not be noticed, never fighting at full power. So he does sort of innately suppress himself in a way, but not to the full extent he needs to, at least not immediately. Frieza actually comes to see that Vegeta is stronger than a lot of soldiers, even people like Zarbon or Dodoria, although it's nothing he or the Ginyu Force can't handle. The highest he's seen Vegeta's power go is 40,000, and that could just be a fluke from the scouter. It's worth keeping an eye on, but nothing that's immediately concerning. With some more training and experience, as well as trying to suppress his power to begin with, Vegeta then innately learns how to suppress his ki, controlling it a lot better than the average Frieza Force soldier, even better than Frieza himself. And by this point, Frieza ends up destroying planet Vegeta. All of that goes pretty much like normal. Kakarot's already been sent away to Earth, and every other Saiyan that's on planet Vegeta dies as normal. Right now, even though Frieza reads Vegeta's power as around 40,000, his true power is more like 300,000. And remember, he's still pretty young at this point. He has a lot of room to grow. Vegeta's not quite on the level of first form Frieza just yet, and doesn't know the true extent of Frieza's power, so he keeps this advice in mind. Nappa suggests this too, and makes sure Vegeta gets the proper guidance he needs. Because who knows what power Frieza's hiding. Raditz is of course part of their group still too, and still weak. Vegeta ends up handling a lot of missions himself. Of course, he was already strong before in the main story, but now, Kid Vegeta is over 16 times stronger than Vegeta in the Saiyan saga, and he keeps growing with time. Granted, he's not getting a lot of great training because first of all, he thinks he doesn't need it, and second, when he's on missions, he's not really using his full power to begin with. He also has Great Ape as a last resort too, and he trains to get that under control. For some reason, Vegeta seems a lot more rowdy in this form. And Nappa's noticed something strange about Vegeta too. He's able to keep his cool a lot, but in moments where Vegeta would get heated, his power does seem to flare up a lot. Now, he's not completely out of control, but Nappa walks on eggshells around him, and thankfully this is pretty rare because Vegeta never really faces issues, so he never blows his lid. Frieza does some things to piss him off, but he does keep a cool head, and anyone in the Frieza Force that tries to mess with him, well, he doesn't take them seriously. And besides, if some random weakling soldier tries to disrespect him, well, he could just kill them with these. Like for example, Kui tries to mess with Vegeta thinking that he's stronger. He heard Vegeta's rumored power level was 40,000, but checking his scouter, it's only about 15,000 now, because Vegeta suppresses it a lot better. Though, this doesn't really turn out well for him, and Kui mysteriously disappears one day. Vegeta continues to grow, and we get to the point where he's an adult. But we should cover what's happening on Earth, because what's going on with Goku? Well, everything in Goku's story goes exactly the same. Nothing's going to change up until the point when he has a reunion at Kame House. This is where things will start to shift. The reunion at Kame House? Well, it just goes normally. It's an actual reunion. Raditz never ends up coming to Earth. They don't need Kakarot for the extra manpower, and they never even have the idea to recruit Kakarot. Raditz and Nappa are actually stronger on their own, because they go on tougher missions with Vegeta, and he treats them pretty rough just so they can grow stronger. He could basically act like a punching bag for them because they can't do anything to him. So after winning the 23rd World Tournament, Goku lives a nice and peaceful life, now with Chi-Chi and Gohan. He does want to train more, especially knowing that Piccolo's out there, and he's going to stay the strongest on Earth. Without Raditz showing up, Goku is completely unaware of his heritage, and Gohan's too, of course. After the reunion at Kame House, Roshi actually offers to train Gohan. He knows Goku would like that as well, and he'd probably even like to train Gohan on his own too. But Roshi thinks it would be most beneficial for Gohan to come here. That way he can get proper training and even education, while Goku has more time to train himself. And it's not like he's just going to leave Gohan here. Goku could just come to Kame House to train with Krillin. The main issue is Chi-Chi, but Goku is able to convince her because Roshi does actually educate his students to some degree, and it lets Goku and Chi-Chi come to a compromise. Roshi is essentially a private tutor for Gohan, but also his martial arts master. And after meeting all of Goku's friends, despite being a bit shy, Gohan grows to like them, so he's excited to go to Kame House. And now he's an official member of the Turtle School, though one of the agreements Goku had with Chi-Chi is that he'd do extra studying compared to what Goku and Krillin did. Roshi thinks this is fine too. He'll still be able to fit in enough time to let Gohan grow as a fighter too. Goku and Gohan travel there pretty often with Nimbus. And since Goku's there a lot of the time too, he trains with Gohan as well. Plus Krillin's there a bunch, so he spends his time sparring with him, or simply doing things like meditating. It's a win-win for everyone. More training for Goku, more training for Krillin. Gohan gets to grow as a fighter and still study, and plus everyone gets to see each other more. Roshi sees a lot of potential in Gohan too. He feels like there's a strange amount of power locked away in Gohan. He sees very brief glimpses of it. There's nothing that specifically causes it to flare up. Little does he know that Gohan has insane potential as a hybrid Saiyan. But his other students, Goku, Krillin, and even Yamcha who shows up from time to time, they're growing a lot more. Anyways, now that we've covered that, let's go back out into space. Vegeta's an adult, and is much more confident in his power. He still has never trained much, but he's grown naturally on missions even though he didn't put in a lot of effort, and he knows exactly the type of power he's working with. In base, his power can't be measured by a regular scouter, especially because he suppresses himself a lot, but he estimates he's at around 15 million at this point. And as a Great Ape, that would put him at 150 million. Again, he doesn't really know the true strength of Frieza at this point, but at 150 million, he's strong enough to fight Final Form Frieza and kill him. That's exactly how powerful Goku was on Namek when he turned Super Saiyan. And at this point, especially with his level of confidence, he decides to make his move, attacking King Cold one day. Vegeta, Raditz, and Nappa show up at a base where King Cold is located at the moment. They don't even bother fighting any of the soldiers because these are going to be part of Vegeta's new empire. King Cold's not too surprised to see a rebellion, but he's not scared of Vegeta. Sure, he might be strong by Saiyan standards, but he's no issue. It turns out, he actually is a really big issue. After a pretty short-lived fight, he's able to beat King Cold. All the troops on the planet at this point just stood there and watched. It's not like they could fight anyways. Some did try to intervene, but Raditz and Nappa simply killed them. Vegeta then floats above the base, displaying King Cold's body so everyone could see it, and then dropping him to the ground below. Now everyone can get a closer look. He tells all the troops to stand down and pledge loyalty to him. Otherwise, they can go and join King Cold in Hell. And Frieza will eventually show up there too. Though if any of them truly are stronger than King Cold, he welcomes them to fight him. Of course, no one here is even close to that level, so they all stand down, pledging loyalty to Vegeta. Of course, Frieza gets word of this pretty quickly. First of all, King Cold's defeated, and second of all, a bunch of his troops just defected. A lot of the troops don't really know what to do because they expect Frieza to show up at some point, and Frieza's probably going to end up killing them. But they wait to see what happens. Frieza then shows up, and honestly, he's not too surprised that Vegeta tried to go against them. He's more surprised that he succeeded in killing King Cold. Now, King Cold is not as strong as Frieza, so this doesn't immediately concern him, but Frieza might actually have to try in this battle too. He powers up, not even using his second or third form. He goes straight into his final form. He is a bit surprised that Vegeta would bring this out right away, but Frieza is still confident in his victory. Besides, he's still holding back. Vegeta and Frieza begin fighting. With Frieza holding back his true power, Vegeta is able to perform pretty well, but there is still a clear advantage on Frieza's side. That is until Vegeta flies to the other side of the planet. Frieza follows along, wondering why he's running away. But as he looks up in the sky, he realizes exactly what's happening. On this side of the planet, there's a full moon right in view, and Vegeta turned into a Great Ape. Before Frieza could even try to destroy the moon, Vegeta unleashes his full power, overwhelming Frieza. It forces Frieza to bring out his full power, and Vegeta humors him, letting him bring out that strength. But even with his full power, it's still not enough to fight Great Ape Vegeta. But Frieza is able to form his ki into Homing Blast, trying to get the jump on Vegeta, distracting Vegeta as one goes to destroy the moon. And despite Frieza taking a lot of damage at this point, he definitely still can't fight. And with Vegeta losing his Great Ape transformation, Frieza gets the upper hand. Vegeta starts to lose. He never could have expected this. His whole life, he's always been the strongest. He even thought he was stronger than Frieza, and to be fair, as a Great Ape he was. But that's all for nothing. And Frieza takes great pride in getting the upper hand again, drawing out the fight for as long as he can, trying to cause as much injury to Vegeta as possible. But there's a weird change in Vegeta. For the first time in a while, he shows true rage. His anger explodes, and so does his ki. Vegeta's hair grows more wild, and he feels a huge surge of power, with Frieza noticing that his eyes have now turned yellow. For the first time, Vegeta's channeled the power of Great Ape in his base, no longer needing to transform into a Great Ape, and a wicked grin appears on his face. The tides have turned once more. Vegeta has the upper hand again. And since Vegeta had a full mastery of Great Ape, he doesn't fully lose control in Wrathful, kinda like Broly would have, though he is very volatile and scary. But he's still lucid enough to win this fight and actually kill Frieza in the process, finally accomplishing the thing he's wanted for so long. Vegeta stands over Frieza's dead body and then sees two people flying over in the distance. It's Nappa and Raditz, trying to see what's happened, and they're left completely speechless. First seeing a bloodied Vegeta, which is something they'd never seen before, but just as surprising as seeing a dead Frieza on the ground, in a form they've also never seen. Vegeta declares this as a victory for them. Now, he's Emperor Vegeta, the strongest in the universe and the ruler of this army. He thanks Raditz and Nappa for sticking alongside him. These two fellow Saiyans will be his right-hand men. Even though there are stronger options like the Ginyu Force out there, still, these two are wholly loyal to him, and also Saiyans, which hold some importance. Though, even though their strength isn't even close to his, he'll whip them into shape, and he'll whip this entire army into shape. The three of them go back to the other side of the planet. Frieza's entire army has arrived here, at the orders of Frieza, of course. Vegeta arrives back, holding the body of Frieza. He came to learn Frieza was actually pretty durable, so there's probably not even much left of Frieza's body, but whatever is left of it is displayed by Vegeta. All the soldiers here get down on a knee, pledging their loyalty to him. By now, he's even found out that Frieza was the one to destroy planet Vegeta, which he already suspected. So, he's also finally gotten his revenge. He has this entire army, and more importantly, he has his own strength to rely on. The person he trusts and relies on the most is himself, after all. The elite Saiyan Prince, and the new Emperor of everything. He feels completely unstoppable. And with that, we'll end off this part here for now.